go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heart of Hobbit. Yay! So we are here on the official Lothlórien Twitch channel, and we are on Treebeard, which is a legendary server. And yeah, so let's see. The servers, they did a patch today, so we're just getting back in. And yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and turn floating names off there. It was kind of a little too exciting on the screen for a moment. You know what, though? While I'm standing here, let's do a little bit of housework, as it is. I'll do a little homework here. So let's do some spotted skins. I want to do tasks. So we're going to plop some of these things in here. Oh, and I think I have some barbed claws. Let's do those. So I like to do the tasks every day if I can remember to do it, because partially for the, oops, wrong one. Partially for the experience, but also for the reputation. So, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Plus, what did I say? I had spotted skins. It's also nice because after you do so many of them, you get the ability to do one more. So when I really do want to do a whole bunch of them, it's nice to have done this work, you know, in advance. So for those of you who are like tasks, what's the deal with that? As you're running around, you're picking up trophies, and it'll say, here, I'll show you my inventory. For example, you know, I have up a stack of barbed claws here. Item level 51. It's a trophy gathered from a corpse. Trophies can be sold to vendors for coin. That is very true. Then in red, it says this item may be turned in for tasks. That's what it's talking about right here. So I go to the task board, and I'm like, okay, buddy, I've got some barbed claws. Would you like them? And the guards will say, yes, wanted, barbed claws. Now, this is supposed to be kind of a duplicate of somebody that's out there in Moria that I could be turning these into. So I'm just gonna, so I pick it up, I accept that quest, and then I'm going to, nice, click on this chest that's down here underneath. And it says, hey, this collection box is checked daily by the dwarves. Your collection is sure to reach the requesting party. Because in Moria, there'll be a dwarf standing there. And I'll be like, hey, I've taken the task off this task board. Hey, dwarf, I'm going to hand this in to you. And you hand it in to them, and they're the ones who give you that reputation. In this case, the task boards, I'm in the neighborhood. I'm in my neighborhood where my house is, where my kin house is. And I'm able to just accomplish this task, right here. Like, I don't even have to go around Moria and hunt down the dwarf. I can just do it right here. So what happens is you get this remote quest, the tasks at hand. And I have completed 6 tasks so far out of a 10 that it wants me to do to complete this. When I complete 10 of them in total, while this quest is active, it will give me at the end of that, after I do 10, the 10th one, it's going to give me a universal optional crafting ingredient. And those are pretty neat because if you're making something, so I'm a tailor, and nice, Aftil says, I just got one. So let's say I want to make something where I can crit. So let's say I wanted to make this superb campaigner's armor. And it's nice, you know, whatever, it's got stats. But if you look down below, the critical, if you critically succeed on making this item, then it has better stats. In order to critically succeed, you can add in some golden flax fiber, which will increase my chance of succeeding by an additional 45%. So it would take me to about 50% of a critical chance. That's not bad. But maybe I have a single-use recipe, or maybe I just really don't want to be sitting here crafting all day just to get one. I just want to get it done. I can use one of these optional universal crafting ingredients, and it is a 100% chance of critical. So it's nice because when you're like making stuff for yourself or you're making stuff for somebody else, and you're like, I really want to get this right the first time. It's a great way to make sure that you're going to succeed, and so I like that. What did I say? Was it skins? Yeah, I think so. All right, so I'm going to do 2 more. Oh, I may have overdone it, though. Well, we'll find out. So it's going to pop up. Nope. Okay, cool. I got 1 more to do. I've got myself up to the point where I can do 8 a day. So now it says tasks limit reached. And I can reset that for Mithril. I'm not going to do that. But up here, it's got 8 out of 8. So I have done 8 tasks out of my allotted 8. You start with 5, and then as you get to each 100 level, I believe it is, after you've done it 100 times, yeah, that's true. You get a little token, and it's bound to a count, so you can actually give it to one of your other characters if you wanted to, and just like stock them all on one character. But it allows you to do one more task than that. So, you know, you get another one, now you can do 6, get another one, now you can do 7, get another one, now you can do 8, and so on. You can get up to like some ridiculous number, like 15 or something. And yes, so that quest that I'm on now, that tasks at hand, it resets on, resetting is not quite the right word to say. Let's say it sets on Thursday. So if you don't have it active, you will get one that is available to you starting on Thursday. So if I finish this tomorrow, then I'll sit through the rest of the week. I won't have one, but then next Thursday, at any time starting Thursday after the server reset, if I start throwing in tasks, then this task, this quest will pop up. Boing. So that's kind of cool. Now, if I have one in the middle of it, so like say I get to these 8 right here, and I don't do anything. I don't do anything with it for a week. You know, maybe I'm just like bored or whatever. So I don't come back in and do the tasks. I'm distracted, and so it just sits here. Next Thursday rolls around, nothing changes. It's still going to sit here at this 8 out of 10. And it's still waiting for me to complete it. So then I complete it, I don't know, sometime, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever. Now I get that universal crafting ingredient, but I have to wait till Thursday to get the next one. So Thursday, you get the option, the ability to get one unless you have one in progress. All right, so that is good there. Let's see, what other little housework do we have here? We've got Hobbit gift. Let's take a look. I can get a silver gift for free. I got a massive pile of copper scraps worth 1 gold. Ain't bad. And for my gold, I got a battle potion of restoration. Plus, I got a plus 50 virtue experience and a plus 20 virtue experience. All right. Cool. And the last thing I want to do is talk to my good friend over here, Wenda Cranesville. We'll put her name up. A patron of distinction. Welcome indeed, she says. I happen to have some items that might enhance your adventures, and you are quite welcome to them. Even in the bleakest wilderness, you can use these fine items to call on all the services found in the finest of towns. Keep your equipment in tip-top shape and craft with great speed. And this is a repeatable quest. You could do it. You could do it every day. So I pick up the quest. Yes. She says, here you go, and safe travels. Should you pass this way another day, I would be happy to provide these gifts again. So I finish that, and boom, into my inventory come these 2 lovely little things here in the second row. So I've got a subscriber's jug. Now the jug, I didn't understand it at first. When you pick it up, it will stay in your inventory for 6 hours, and then it goes away. It expires on its own. The jug, just the physical jug. Now you can toss it anytime you want. You don't have to actually keep it, and that's what Affodil does. They consume it and then toss it. So you have any time during that 6 hours you can click on it. So let's see. This little heart underneath my stuff that says subscriber buffs, it says accelerates crafting time, prevents item wear from combat, crafting, and defeat. That's what this jug is going to do for me. And notice it says duration 2 days. And it currently, be like Thor with the mug, drink and smash. I currently have 18 hours, 24 minutes left on my subscriber buffs. So as soon as I consume, I take a drink out of the jug, now that has reset to 24 hours. Sorry, 48 hours, 2 days. So now notice it says 1 day, 23 hours, 59 minutes, and it's counting down the seconds. If I leave this in my inventory like in an hour and drink it again, it'll reset the time again. So when you consume it, all of a sudden then you have a full 48 hours of those subscriber buffs. Yeah, generally I don't necessarily need to hang on to it, but sometimes I do. Like anyway, I got characters that are just chilling out, so they hold on to their jug, and then I consume it when I start, and then I consume it when I leave, just so that gives me a little extra time. Okay, so we are gonna go ahead and we'll go ahead and trash that though. We'll be like Thor and drink it and smash it. Now, the other thing I got was this really cool subscriber town services. So if I open that up, it gives me all of these things that I can do on the go. I don't need to go to a shop vendor. I have that in my pocket now. I don't need to go to my vault or to a vault person, a vault keeper. It's with me now. I don't need to go to a shared storage person because that is with me also. I see my camera's being adjusted. I should just have you look at it before I go live, from now on. So anyway, so wardrobe, I don't have to go to a wardrobe person. It's with me, a vault keeper, because it's with me right now. Same for the auction house, don't have to go to an auction house person. And the legendary item forge and the relic combination people, I don't have to go and talk to them. It's all in my pocket. It's pretty cool. So like, where are those people? Oh yeah, the forge and relic master. That's right. In the Shire, let me get rid of that. In the Shire homesteads, it's this one Hobbit over here. So she's the forge and relic master. I haven't talked to her. I don't need to talk to her because, I've got it in my pocket. All right, cool EO. A little stuttering there, at least on my side. Okay, so got all our kind of tidying up to do. Each character can only use up to 10 upgrade task things. It says 10 upgrade task limit plus ones. Interesting. So you start with 5 and you could get an additional 10, but that's the most you could do is have 15 total then. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't feel a need to have that many that often, so I think I'm fine. Really not a problem. It says you have reached the task limit cap. I see. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so we're gonna try and go find Bingo Boffin, because that's what we've been meaning to do, right? So let's go to Bree and hold on a second.
This one to make it smaller.
Hold on a moment. Make it smaller?
Just from diagonally. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be that small.
Oh, okay.
And then minimize.
Okay.
And also
And that
keep your
one
graphics down
too.
a bit.
Oh, okay. Right. I don't know, earlier it was interesting, our internet just went dark for a little bit. It was really weird. It was like it was there, and then all of a sudden it was just like, whoop, disappeared. But I think everything's good now. Oh yeah, so we're gonna do, though, I'm gonna go to my options, which is Control O, and we'll play with my graphics. And we're gonna up this down just a little bit.
Just do like medium or high.
Okay, I am on high. I'll switch it to medium. That's fine. Okay, we're gonna pull the graphics down just a little bit because it's doing that weird thing again. I did restart my computer though, so it shouldn't be that. That shouldn't be the problem. Oh, did I leave you behind? I went to Bree. Oh, sorry. And I can't send you an acorn because I'm not one of those people. Okay, awesome. So, hang on. Okay, so we're going to talk to Bert Bartleby here. When you're doing the bingo quest line, he kind of follows a lot of the adventures that Bilbo Baggins had. And so there's a point in the story that we're just beyond where Bingo Boffin fell into a hole in the Misty Mountains, and we believe he's managed to, he was in a river, he fell into a river, and that river took him into Moria. So just like but here it kind of diverges a little bit and tries to bring us back in with the main line, because if you go back then to Lord of the Rings, they go into Moria, and so now we're going to go try and track him down in Moria while we're doing a whole bunch of other things. Now we did track him down a couple weeks ago. He was at the bottom of a deep pit kind of area with a bunch of Maurvale. So we found him there and he has amnesia. So we're going to go and see what Bert has to say. So if I say, Bert, hey, where can I find Bingo this week?
Information for you that may be of use.
He reminds us of where we are in the story. He says, you have finally caught up with Bingo, but he has lost his memory and remembers nothing about you or his journey. You'd better go to the Fanged Pit on the eastern side of Durin's Way in Moria and help him to remember. Thank you, Bert. Okay, so we need to go to Moria. Would you like me to take us to the 21st Hall? Oh, wait, no. Hold up. We have milestone to the Fanged Pit. We're going to use that. Fanged Pit, there we go. Yeah, we're going to milestone our way. So when a couple weeks ago in December, each week in December, they were doing Lotro, SSG, they were doing like really awesome sales. And one week they had milestones were on sale for some percentage off. And so we went ahead and for these two characters, which are our main characters here on the server, we went ahead and picked up all the milestones because Moria is the perfect place to do that because, hang on. So for example, there are, let's see, there's a milestone. There's milestones in various places, although I'm not seeing them here. Milestone, there we go. Actually, we'll just clear it and just show me the milestones. That's all I care about right now. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 milestones here. But some places you can get to by swift travel from the 21st Hall. 21st Hall has a milestone, don't need that because I'm a hunter and I can take us right there. So that's really 9 and then so on. So we're like, okay, we're probably gonna use most of our milestones though to get around Moria. Like, that's okay, not a problem. Okay, so we have Bingo Boffin, the amnesiac hobbit sitting there. We have Will and Whisker, the napping lynx, who's his companion, traveling companion. And then we have Spalvey Stoutheart with his new last name. And I think we are ready to pick up the quest. So he has an idea. Fadil falls asleep. He says, you know, there's something we might try. Do you remember the page of manuscript that Willem found? Because Will and Whisker found a page of manuscript in the water. It is mostly dry now and nearly legible. Perhaps if you were to show it to Bingo, it might provide just the reminder our author needs in order to regain his missing memory. I say it is worth the attempt. So we're going to show him the manuscript. All right, sure. Hey, Bingo, what's up?
Hello there, my new friend.
He says, hello there, my new friend. I'm sorry, I do not remember you. And not only that, I cannot remember why I cannot remember. Yes, what is this? You hand Bingo the page of his manuscript that Will and Whisker fished out of the pool along Durin's Way, and he squints at it for a few moments. Let's see, Newbury, Buckland. I do know where those places are. Of course, every Shire Hobbit does. My, this Hobbit lass does have a lot of children. Angelica, Barilac, Camellia, Dinodas, Esmeralda, Fosco, Griffo. Oh, that's the end of the page. You know something? I almost thought I remembered someone. A girl with red hair and a sword? No, that's not quite right. I'm sorry, but I really do not remember. Does he or is he faking it? He says, you are certain that Bingo almost remembered, if only there were more pages. Hello, Devit78. Welcome to the stream. We are tracking down Bingo Boffin in Moria. Oh, I was looking at your area chat. Okay. So, all right. So Spalvey says, it was not enough, but I think we might be on the right course. If we were to track down the remaining pages of Bingo's manuscript and show them to him, that might be just the reminder he needs to recapture his lost memories. We should assume that he dropped his manuscript when he fell, and the pages became scattered far and wide throughout Khazad-dûm. Gosh, it's like being in the Barrow Downs again. Anyone might have picked them up, but there are some places we can check. So he gives us kind of a to-do list. So we've got the Marivel and the Fanged Pit. They might have some pages. Orcs and warg riders cover great distances throughout Zalem Melek, and they might have found some pages. A war council was formed in Anazurmecum and the Flaming Deeps, and its leaders might have uncovered some pages. Dwarves in the 21st Hall see a lot of traffic for their services, such as vault keepers and bards, and they might have come into possessions of pages. And after you have followed all of these leads, I will meet you in the 21st Hall. Cool. So now we've got a vector sending us to the 21st hall, but we do have to knock down a bunch of stuff along the way. So, all right. Well, welcome to the stream there, David. And if you have any questions about like what we're doing or where we're going or why we're going, feel free to ask them. All right, Affadil is so sleepy. She has actually become one with the ground around her over there. That's a little scary. All right, so I think we should start finding some folks. Oh, hey, we're gonna go follow. Okay. Amazing Lord of the Rings series is on its way, says David. I hope the release of the show will bring new people to the game. Yeah, it's interesting how hopefully the interest in one thing that has to do with, you know, the series, with the lore and everything, will hopefully get other people looking and seeing and be like, man, it would be cool if I could just play a game of this. What? There's already a game? It's been around 15 years? What? and come join the game. Although I have to say, like, I play on Treebeard, and it's a newer server, so it's smaller, and it's a legendary server, which means you have to be some sort of a subscriber to play. And so it also then again has a smaller population than, say, some of the other servers. And it's kind of by design, you know, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the more tight-knit kind of group that you end up with. Like, you see the same people over and over again. Like, I enjoy doing the festivals a lot. So it's fun for me because, I see the same people at the festivals over and over again. Oh, I think we've gotten all the Maravale we can get from here. Okay, well, what do you suggest? Where should we go next? We need to go to, I should put my quest logger back up. 21st Hall? Yeah, sure. I can take us to the 21st Hall. I've heard of this place. I know the secret ways. All right. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm still getting a little bit of stuttering on my end. I apologize. So talk about the teaser trailer. There was a teaser trailer that just came out like yesterday for the Amazon show. And the Amazon show, from my understanding, is focusing on like Second Age, the crafting of the rings of power, and the crafting of the One Ring. And so, I mean, I'm guessing we will be spending a lot of time in a region. So the trailer that came out. Oh, hey, Bozy has something for me. Or boy, Bingo's scattered thoughts. Oh, hey. Hey, are you looking for pages of a manuscript? I have one right here. I quite enjoyed hearing about the peaceful tranquility of the Trollshaws, but sadly the story was not finished. It cuts off mid-sentence. The sentence is, I awoke refreshed in the morning, ready to face the day, as did, and that's all of it. You're welcome to it if you want it. We did not wake refreshed during that episode. We were up all night fighting all the things. Anyway, so the trailer didn't really show much. It showed basically very fancy graphics, you know, very kind of like Game of Thrones style graphics almost, of, you know, just close-ups of pouring lava, what it kind of looked like. It was obviously gold for the rings. Hey, let's talk to this guy. Bingo, scattered thoughts. Yes, I wish to speak with you. He says, someone did give me a pair of pages to hold on to, but to be honest, I cannot remember who it was. Was it you? Hobbit? Yes? That sounds about right. They're all yours. I feel bad for whoever comes back looking for those pages. I gave you some pages. Love it. Anyway, so it was very, the trailer that Amazon just put out about their series, it was very, like, visually attractive, but it was very content light. And I am very much a content person. So I was like, well, it's, you know, shiny. But it didn't tell me anything about the story, where they're going, any of the characters. Like, it didn't show us anything. So, you know, I'm waiting because now they're still early in production, I think. Like, I think they've been working on it for a while. I haven't been following it as closely as I could because it's one of those where I don't feel a lot of confidence in a studio like Amazon having the care and so like, how am I gonna put this? So the people who do the Lotro stuff, they're very, very deep into the lore. They do a lot of research. They bring up as much as they can with the licensing rights that they have. You know, they spend a lot of time. Yeah, really, Lotro really spends a lot of time in earning our trust to believe that they are good stewards of the stories, and that they're gonna take us in ways in the stories that would be hopefully something that, you know, the original creator would be happy with. You know, that sort of thing. I'm concerned that Amazon may just use it as an opportunity for, you know, things that to sell, but not necessarily to be, you know, cautious with the content. So, yeah, a lot of people are very skeptical about the Amazon show. Exactly. So yes, I have some skepticism. I hope it'll be good because, I mean, there's some really great stuff. There's some really great stories in there, obviously, and it would be really exciting to see those brought to life. Absolutely. But to see it done badly, I don't want to see that. You know? Yeah, the first human, elf, dwarf, love triangle, and yeah, we're out. Hey, this guy's got a ring. Hey, Roker. Oh, that's a different thing. We'll come back and talk to you later. Hang out there, dwarf. You got this. We'll be back. We're on a mission. So, all right, so going back, I see Avri. Oh, wait. David, you said the teaser was good given it was done practical, not by CGI? It looked like CGI to me. So, I guess it's hard to tell the difference these days. That's interesting to know. I'll have to look at it again, I guess. But I'm still skeptical. What can I say? So Avri, hi Avri, says we need more festivals. Festival of food, festival of second breakfast, festival of festivals, right? Yeah. So the Hobbit movies, which is kind of what B4 was referencing there, I think also, is yeah. So I think the Hobbit movies were cute, and I don't hate them. Okay, like I know a lot of people are big haters on the Peter Jackson Hobbit movies. I am not. I understand. Like I haven't made films per se, but I've been involved in live theater, and I understand what it's like to try and sometimes serve multiple sides, and how that's not necessarily you know, good. This orc corpse has a ring on it. Oh, that's not, I think it count. Did it? Maybe it didn't count. Okay. I thought it was one of Spalvy's things. Sorry. Apparently, I got a remote mission. I picked. Okay, I'm gonna look at the statue while I'm being attacked by that defiler. Oh, thanks. I've discovered the top of the head from the statue of Helgi Goblinbane. Nice. Rock on. Hang on a second. Anazar Mecham. Oh, hey, no, to that wood. That's where we're going. What? Oh, hang on a second. I don't have my craft tools on me. I gotta grab that. I've been sharing my craft tool with some of my alts, and which means my main here is sad because she doesn't have it on her. But she will in a moment. Wow, look at those shards and things I'm grabbing. Okay, let's try that again. Hey, would you like to come home with me? Okay, there we go. Anyway, the Hobbit movies, it feels like they wanted to tell a story. It feels like they tried to tell multiple different stories, and that's a problem. Like you gotta pick, you know, your like the feeling and the theme and the looks, and like you gotta have, it's gotta be cohesive. And they tried to do an adventure story, which sure, it absolutely was. It was a kid's story, right? Like it's a, you know, dwarves and things out running around and, you know, picking up treasure and, you know, running into crazy adventures. Like, sure, yeah, it's an adventure story, absolutely. So go with that. But they also tried to make it a prequel to, oops, wrong thing. I want this wood. To the Lord of the Rings trilogy movies, which it's the same story, sure, yeah. It's a continuation. One's a continuation of the other in a way, right? So you definitely have that, but it was a different. It's the books, right? They were a different style of storytelling. So I think what they should have done is just embraced it as the children's book that it was, gone with the action adventure, have those characters that you love, have some moments that are deep and reflective of, you know, the Lord of the Rings trilogy movie set that Peter Jackson had just done, you know, do some callbacks to that because they had done such good work on that. But allow the Hobbit trilogy to be something different and tell the people who wanted it to be another Lord of the Rings trilogy movie, tell them to stuff it. But they wouldn't, and that's part of the problem, I think. Yeah, we don't hate so Master of the Master is saying we don't hate Hobbit movies, we just want it to be lore accurate. I mean, why make 3 long movies out of one tiny book? Because the studios were like, we just had this huge success with this, so we're gonna replicate that huge success with that. This is why you get, like, you know, remakes of songs. This is why you get, you know, TV shows coming out and reboots and movie reboots and everything, because it was good the first time around. Now there's a new generation. Let's try it the second time around, right? And it had been a long time since a Hobbit movie had come out, right? Like that was, I don't know, when was the, what's his name, movie that was the cartoon that was a little offbeat, but it actually worked out really well. So yeah. I don't, yeah, maybe. Anyway, so you know, so it was, the timing wasn't bad for a new Hobbit movie. Sure. Oh, new quest, dwarf dinner. Dun dun dun. We'll be back. I'm not gonna click on people and things. I'm just gonna, let me see if I can. Let's see. Oops, hang on a second. Okay, I'm gonna catch up for you. Yeah, Rankin Bass cartoon. Thank you, Ginger. I know you all know what I'm talking about, or at least enough of you know what I'm talking about. You can put it in the chat, and then people who don't know what I'm talking about can go and do some searching. Yeah, I mean, it was just really a wacky doodle kind of version, but it kind of worked for it. Oh, it's a hike to Anjamekam. Do we have milestones there? Or are we just gonna go and smack things along the way? Never been. We've never been to Anjamekam. Bum bum bum. So from a studio perspective, I understand what they were doing with stretching the Hobbit book into 3 movies, trying to replicate the success that they'd had before. And they you know, they got a different director, and then they just messed it all up, right? Like I'm not saying the director did. I'm saying like the studio. I put this all on the studio, really, the studios, because like with what, and I can't remember all the details anymore, but like the original, the Lord of the Rings movies that Peter Jackson did, they were, I think, under 1, maybe 2 studios, and they had a lot of freedom to like make Weta workshops or make that become what it is. Like there's a lot they were able to do. And turn New Zealand into this like amazing destination for it, right? Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was Del Toro, right? That was who they had in? Yeah. So that would have been an interesting version, definitely. You know, and bring in a different feel, which it should have had for, you know, because like in my opinion, they should have let the Hobbit movies be a different feeling, a different look, a different style than the Lord of the Rings movies. I think the Lord of the Rings movies were fantastic as that kind of more serious, adventure with some comedic moments, and I think it needed to be the opposite for The Hobbit. It needed to be a comedic adventure with some serious moments, right? So will the Second Age TV show, right? Who knows? I'm sorry. What am I looking at? Sorry, B4's pointing at something on their screen. I don't know. There's a dwarf head in the distance. Oh, that's pretty cool. Is that where we're going?
Yeah, we just gotta find the stairs down.
Oh, we gotta find stairs. I'm good at falling. I can do that.
When did they come to that?
Sorry, Aubrey says an amazing audiobook by Blue Fax does The Hobbit well. Nice. Yeah, we love to be in Middle Earth, but there were too many things added and made up, and yeah. Well, so I think what they should have done with The Hobbit, if they really did want to extend it into 3 movies, which, the 5 studios or whatever that were now involved at this point wanted to do, crazy stuff right there. What they should have done is said, okay, yes, all 5 studios have a stake in this, excuse me, but somebody needed to be given, like, the boss spot, the buck stops here spot, and that needed to be one studio and one director, basically, maybe one producer, right? Like, just have it be a small set of people who are making the decisions, and everybody else just has to go along with it. That's what should have happened. And instead, trying to serve 5 studios and, oh my gosh, crazy cakes, right? Crazy stuff. So, but they could have pulled stuff, like there's stuff in the Silmarillion that talks about times, there's stuff in the extended letter, like there's plenty of Tolkien writing that they could have pulled from to fill in some of that time of The Hobbit. Yeah. I think the storyline that they did wasn't bad. Like, I thought they did a decent job with a lot of stuff. Hang on a second, I'm frozen for a sec.
These halls will be great once more.
Okay, is there a milestone here? Oh, let's go talk to a milestone. Oh, I remember this place. You have to come back here to turn in a lot of quests and stuff. All right, when you go do instances. Okay, so I've got, you can see I've got a lot of Moria already. All right, so we're gonna replace that version of going to Heirloom. Do I want to set this? I do. Thank you very much. Woo-woo. I have a deed bestowed. Oh, go to the Flaming Deeps. Cool, it's a good start. Do we need to talk to this guy? Is he a bingo guy? He's a bingo guy.
Greetings, friend.
All right, Vagoon says, you must be looking for these, he exclaims, holding up 3 pieces of parchment that have seen better days. We of this council have been conducting a campaign against the orcs, and I must tell you that these papers have had us quite befuddled. Do you see this page? The sequence of letters is clearly a code, and all of this talk of geese and ganders, he's talking about back in the Lone Lands. He said, we believed the orcs were hatching some scheme, and it is a relief to learn otherwise. Here, you may have them. We have wasted enough time on these pages already. All those riddles that we solved in the Lone Lands. That's fantastic. Oh, hey. I think, yeah, we are headed to the 21st hall. Would you like me to take us to the 21st hall? I can do. All right. So yes, that's my understanding is Amazon is trying to do a Second Age focus in their TV show. One hopes it'll do well. It will be awesome if it does, because there isn't a lot of Second Age stuff production-wise out there as far as I know, right? Like, I don't know of any Second Age movies. Yeah. So it has the potential to be really cool. It also has the potential to be extremely disappointing. All right, so Bingo Boffin is here. He is now a journeying hobbit as opposed to an amnesiac. And Spalby says, you found the rest of Bingo's manuscript. Well done. Let me put these pages in order. There you go. Now, give this book to Bingo and have him read it, and we will see if this does the trick. Okay, so we're going to talk to Bingo. Hey, Bingo. You have brought me some more pages of that story to read. I would be very glad to have some reading material of my book-loving friend. Hand it here, and I will settle in for a good read. It will be just a moment or three. So now we get to wait. So I have a timer for 2 minutes to wait for Bingo to finish reading the account of the journey. So there he is, reading away. Here, let's maybe get a little screenshot here. He's reading his adventures that he wrote himself. I think the Bingo questline is actually quite cute. I am enjoying it. Yeah, there's some very cute parts as before. So Master of the Master had said, I did the whole Bingo quest up until the end on level 93, but I completely forgot some parts. You know, I really love how they added in Bingo. Oh, Bingo's now a voracious reader. That's fantastic. How they added in a pair of Bingo quest lines to the to Harvest Math. You know, where you go around that area around the party tree, and then the second part where you go off to Westmead. That makes me really happy, and I wish that they would add more, because that is, I think that's so much fun. Oh yeah, before saying, I like focusing on it like this though, and not getting sidetracked by dozens of quests on the way. It's interesting because, yeah, I mean, the Bingo quest line hits the beats that you hit as you're going through the epic line, and so if you keep up with him as you are keeping up with the epic line, you will tend to meet up with him. So you can absolutely do that, and that's what I've done a number of times. But well, when I was on track, oh my gosh, my first characters, I was not following quest lines very well at all, and I would like run off and do some things, and then I'd be like, why are these quests over here 20 levels behind me? I don't know what to do with these. Well, let me go try to do those. What is going on? Like, I was all over the place. I was so scattered. Actually, my first 2 characters, it was crazy. Now I'm I can see what they're doing in the story a lot better. And we'll come back to that here in a second. All right, so he is now a journeying hobbit. He says, well, that was an interesting account, but I can't say anything in it rings any bells for me. He stares at you intently and suddenly breaks into a wide grin. I am only teasing. To be honest, I remembered everything completely after the very first page of this account. See, told you, he was faking it. But I figured it would be a good time to read the whole thing and see if my opinion on Bilbo's opinion of it has changed. My opinion on Bilbo's opinion. He says, I think it might be exciting enough after all, but now I'm afraid it is too short. We will need to have more adventures now for sure. But there's something else I need to tell you. This Spalvey fellow here is a good sort, and I want you to know that I completely forgive him for the misunderstanding with the Dour Hands. He really did treat me kindly, and at the first opportunity he sent me loose from that cage, despite the fact that his people would be very cross with him about it. I hope you did not distrust him too greatly on my account. All right, so now we get to talk to Spalvey and to Willem. So let's check in with Spalvey here. He says he remembers. I am so glad to see that everything has turned out all right. I apologize for the number of troubles I caused, and I do hope you forgive me for them. But you must admit that we all learned a great deal since our hobbit fell into the mountains. Indeed, it sounds as if his adventure is still in the beginning stages, and he plans to write many chapters after this one. I mean, that's true, but I think he's level-wise about halfway through his adventures. All right, and Willem, we look at him, and for the first time since Bingo disappeared, Willem Whisker seems genuinely happy. Listening closely, you think you might even hear thrumming in the deep. Willem is purring contentedly. Yay! Our little gang is back together, and there's Willem doing a little dance. That's awesome.
What? I remembered something else.
All right, so Bingo's scattered thoughts. We're going to finish this quest, the chain that we're doing. He says, I remembered something else. When Spalvey and I fled from the Dourhand Fortress in the Misty Mountains and I fell into the caverns below, do you know what happened? I fell into an underground river. The water chilled me to the bone, and I think the sudden impact with the icy water is what drove the memories from my mind. But do you know what I remembered? When I hit the water, I must have also forgotten that I could not swim, because I took to the current like a fish. I suppose I just needed that little extra motivation. How about that? All right, so we can finish this now, and we get to choose either the title Seeker of Memories or Keeper of Memories. They're both good. I think we'll do Seeker. Because we go off and looking for them, but we're not necessarily recording them. Well, I mean, we are.
think I am ready to say farewell
My character's
to these
not.
caverns.
All right, a farewell. Aw. Well, let's see. Bingo says, I think I am ready to say farewell to these caverns. My memory has returned, but most of my time beneath the mountains is a cold, dark blur, and I'm ready to see the sun once again. Perhaps if I were a dwarf, I would feel differently about these halls, but I'm a hobbit. We like our burrows to be a bit more cozy and comfortable. Spalvey introduced me to a dwarf named Kettle, and he agreed to draw some illustrated maps for my book once my adventure is complete. What a fine fellow. He also provided a map of the eastern levels of Khazad-dûm we can use to find our way to the exit. I would like to repay Kettle Mapmaker for these kindnesses. So let us defeat enemies in Nudmelek as we make our way to this point on the map, the western side of the bridge of Khazad-dûm. That sounds like it will be quite a sight, and we will also be helping to make the halls and passages safer for Kettle while he works. So, all right, we will go ahead and accept that. And all right, we need to go defeat some foes in Nudmelek. Sounds good. Now, when the original Bingo Boffin storyline came out, and this is before I was playing, this is because I started playing 3 years ago this month. Woo, happy anniversary to me. But when he first started the quest chain, each week they would release the next piece of the storyline. So it didn't all come out at once. So we are also getting that on the Legendary servers. Each week they're releasing the next installment of the story. So we just finished 1 week's installment of the story and picked up the beginning of the next week. But eventually we will catch up again, because every so often you get to a point where you catch up and then there's no new quest for you. So you just kind of go, wonder what we do next. And if you then forget where to go, you just go talk to Bert Bartleby anywhere you can find a Bert, and you say, hey Bert, and he will let you know where it is you are in the storyline and where you need to go to meet up with Bingo for the next piece once it's released. And they were releasing it on Thursdays. So we are picking these up on Thursdays, just like that other quest thing, and just like the gold Hobbit gifts. Let's see, well-traveled. That's a good one. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put Seeker of Memories on though. That's a good one too. Yep. All right, Affadil is doing a great job of defeating enemies on our way. But they don't count. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let me go back. I missed a little bit of chat here. Oh, and my closed captions have stopped again. Well, it gets behind sometimes, and I have to tell it to catch up. Okay. I don't know what's the problem with that. Let's see. So Fanged Pit to Anazar Meckham spans so much content, it'd be easy to take weeks to find all the pages if you just followed the bingo quest naturally. Yeah, that's true. That is true before. All right, so we're gonna drop this down to, oh, that's interesting, it popped back up to high. I'll set it down to low and see what happens. It popped back up to high from medium.
Go to low for right now and see how it goes.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it's like resetting itself. I don't know why. Fascinating. Okay, so we're gonna drop my graphics and see if that makes my computer work less hard and therefore we get less stuttering. Yeah, I don't know why it's been doing this lately. I wonder if I need to do something with my computer and figure out something's going on wrong, because I don't know. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, Bingo only pushes you all around to the quest, but then he'll write the book like it was his adventures, right? It's kind of like Bingo's with us, We'll just pretend he's there and like taking notes. But Aubrey finally got a 3-wending way. Hey, congratulations! Which neighborhood? So this is a house that's in a Hobbit neighborhood, and we were having this discussion a couple of weeks ago about in the Shire homesteads. Each 3-wending way is in the middle of the town. It's like right by that center of town where we started earlier in the stream. So it's a nice location, but it's not my favorite house because it is a small house. It's not a deluxe house, it's a standard house. And oh, hey, we've discovered Kadar Zaram. All right, go us. yeah, so it's a good house though, and Aubrey was trying to pick one up, so that's exciting. I'm glad you were finally able to get one. Master says, yes, I remember this back in the days. Yeah, they're good houses, Brent. They're all good houses. Yeah, I do enjoy having the larger houses though. I find that appeals to me and my decorating habits. So far, I only have one premium house on this server, but I did go ahead when the Ritz were on sale for like 50% off, I think it was. I went ahead and bought a whole bunch of them, so that way when the Erebor housing comes out, I can possibly get one of those if I want, which I might. We'll see what the rest of the Kinneys decide to do. And then if I don't decide to get one of those, my hope is that in a couple more years, they'll put out more housing. Now, I do have, what do I have on here? I have a Rohan Eastfold homestead. You know what? I might get a Belfalas house because, so last week on the stream, we were gonna come and do Bingo Boffin, but the Bull Roar, which is a test server, it was open, and it's open right now as well, actually. They're open, when they open it, they usually do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it is open this week again, so there's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So last week it was open and we went and checked out the new Erebor premium housing. And I have to say, it doesn't look, like there's some pieces here I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, that's kind of Erebor-ish too. I guess maybe they just kind of go, this is what the dwarves have and this is what they do. So the Erebor housing though is more, lots of these sparkly type things. It's very like Wizard of Oz, green marble, kind of like that, you know, piece there. Oh yeah, kind of like that piece there that we just ran by, but all marbly and very, very beautiful. There's some new wallpapers that are coming out, and so there's like that green marble wallpaper, and I think that I tried it out in a Belfalas house on the test server, and it looks so good. So I may have to get a Belfalas house and get some of that and put it on there because it looks really good. Chieftain, your little retirement hobbit hole. Either it will look like a 60s Nana's house or a tavern, not sure which just yet. Well, you know, I've kind of got the crafting going on here to match your Nana house if you go that direction. Although I don't know how to digitize this. Yeah, I've been working on a scarf, and I'm finally done with the crocheting portion of it. Now I'm up to the weaving in all of the loose ends portion of it, and unfortunately there's more of those than I was anticipating, but there always are, right? Like, that's just how it goes. And then I'll block it out, so hopefully it's not quite so curly and lays a little bit more flat. So that'll be awesome. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so closed captions. I have closed captions on here. They're I think over in that place. So should look like little brackets around a CC. If you click on that, you should be able to get the closed captions. Excuse me, up on your screen. Make it smaller? Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, but I need it to not get behind. Okay. Cool. Still, oops, hey. Oh, look at that. Hold up. I got a thing. Find 7 locations of the 9 visited. Follow the path of the fellowship through Moria. And now I have a title, Friend of the 9. That's awesome. The bridge of Khazad-dûm is broken and no longer crosses the span. So Bingo says, I am beginning to have doubts about letting Kettle draw the maps for my book. On the map he gave me, the bridge here is intact. I mean, it was not that long ago. Well, I suppose we will have to go around. The good news is we can defeat more of the enemies in Nud Malek that threaten the dwarves as we make our way to the exit. Sure, my dude. Happy to. Watch Affadil do that. Whoa. Where are you going? I don't think I'm going to follow you out there. Well, maybe a little bit. Hang on. Yep, bridge is out. Yeah, I think I'll follow you back, not by the edge of the bridge. I think that's a better place for me. Okay, so what do I got? I got 5 Lothlórien points for that. Ooh, ooh. And I got the title. And oops, and I completed the deed. So that's pretty awesome. So let's see. Okay, so Master the Master asks, what was your favorite expansion of Lotro? And I want to open that up to anybody. So anybody who wants to answer that, because I love hearing other people's responses. And then Aubrey says you could never have enough scarves or blankets, right? I know, like I've got 3 blankets here. I've had a little bit of a chill lately, so which is hilarious because we have heated floors, and it keeps the room actually nice and cozy. And I'm still like bundled up under the blankets and everything. My favorite expansion of Lotro. It changes. It really changes. Yeah, let me think about that for a second. Jinjar is trying to sell a Doctor Who scarf. Oh, that's cool. Is it like the super, super long one? Like from the, as they tended to do. So for those of you who don't know, the Doctor Who scarf thing, basically one of the costume people was handed a huge pile of yarn and said, you know, make a scarf with this. And they basically, yeah, Tom Baker, the 4th Doctor, and they basically were like, okay, and we're not given guidance, so they interpreted that to make a scarf with all of this. So they did. And it's big blocks of color as you go along. It's quite fantastic. Oh, awesome. Cool. Thank you, Before. Yeah, there's a link there. The DoctorWhoScarf.com is an amazing website where they track the history of it, because so there was the original scarf, but then yeah, you just have to go and look because there were multiple scarves basically in the history of the Doctor Who scarf, as it were. And then it's really cool because I think it's on that same website where they talk about how you could recreate your own, and then you have to pick which one of the ones you want to recreate and kind of talk about what colors they probably used. And they also talk about like what fabric, you know, what kind of yarn they probably used. Like, was it wool? Was it cotton? Like, you know, all of that, all of those details, and then how to care for it if you do make one of those. Yeah, it's fantastic. I someday I have an interest in making one for myself, but oh, I don't have it in front of me. When you have a second, can you grab my little blue scarf from by the coat? Okay. Head east, I've been told. Okay. Oh wait, there's wood. Yeah, I'll go south. I like the south. There's wood there. So Jinjar, what country are you in? Remind me, and I'll whoop. A scarf appears. Oops, I should stop running. I'm gonna follow you now. Thank you. So I like skinny scarves, right? So I've got this skinny one. It's this cute little paw prints pattern that I found, which I thought was adorable. So I was thinking I might want to make a skinny scarf like this, but do it in the Tom Baker colors, because that way I could get kind of the same dimensions, you know, the kind of, yeah, scale, but I could make it shorter and have it be more of something that I would wear versus, there's no way I could wear the Tom Baker scarf. Like, yeah, just, I would not wear it. I don't like having heavy things on my neck. It gives me headaches, so I don't wear heavy scarves, which kind of knocks me out of being able to wear the Tom Baker scarf. But that's one of the reasons why I thought maybe if I do a skinny one, and this is in like a cotton, it's pretty light. It's like a, you know, pretty small yarn, so it's like a fingering or something. So I thought that might be kind of cool. I have other projects that I keep stacking up in front of that. So, so I made another scarf as part of a make-along thing that started last summer, and I finished it up like in October. And so I was wearing that really regularly, and but then it's a piece. It has a piece of yarn that I need to fix. As you may notice, one of these things is not like the other. So this one, a piece broke. It's supposed to look like that. So I gotta fix that. So I've stopped wearing this one because I don't want it to fall apart because it's a pretty dang cool thing. Have I tried stapling it? No, I'm not going to staple it. That's hilarious. That's even funnier because B4 is the one who's taught me all this fiber crafting. There's no way I would staple it, you know that. Oh, right, back to the favorite expansion. Okay, so I've played through so Helm's-Deep, and then gotten into Gondor, gotten to far Lothlórien, I think is the furthest we've gotten, right? The first time and second time through Rohan, those were my favorite. Rohan was my favorite, for sure. There's the depth of the storyline and how things connect, and the sweeping, wide sweeping plains that we're riding over. I mean, it's got some really dark stuff, definitely. And I enjoyed getting my war mount. I really like riding that thing around. It's so much fun. So Rohan is definitely up there for me, which I know is controversial. Like, not everybody loves Rohan, but I do. And I actually, I am looking forward to when we get to do it on Treebeard also. Okay, hang on. Let's talk to Bingo real quick. He's in Lothlórien. He says, it is good to breathe the fresh air once again, which is really funny because a lot of players feel that way when they come out here. There is a certain mystery to the great halls of Khazad-dûm, no mistake, but anything larger than a hobbit hole seems a bit much if you ask me. I'm glad to be outside again. But wait, Spalvey seems to have fallen behind. I wonder if everything is all right. Well, let's go talk to him. Hey, Spalvey, what up, yo? Oh, hey, there's a riddle out here. Should we look at it? In a minute? Okay, so Spalvey says, I do not know how to say this, my friend, but I think the time has come for me to take my leave of our little band. I have enjoyed our adventures together, and I'm glad to have made the right choice. Glad to have made right the wrong I caused you and Bingo. I've cast behind my old name and adopted a new one, and indeed, I feel as if more has changed between the stout heart and the dour hand than just the name. I wish to remain in Khazad-dûm and help the Iron Garrison with their work, if they will have me. I will not worry about Bingo, for I know that you will be with him. I do have a word of warning, however. I have heard that the elves live on this side of the mountain. Use caution in your dealings with them. They are not to be trusted. Farewell, my friends. May we meet again at journey's end. Should we go look at that riddle real quick? Oh, the riddle's not yet for us? Okay. Well, we'll look at the riddle later. Okay, so Bingo says...
But now
yeah.
to the future.
There's a bunch of riddles in Moria, and then there's a final one, and that might be the final one. So. Okay, so Bingo says, I am sorry to see Spalvey go, but I know he will be of great help to the dwarves in Moria. Now we should turn our faces to the future and see what awaits us next on our journey. So the next chapter is a chapter about elves, recommended level 60. Oh, we finished now. We get Craving Sunlight or Embracing the Dark. You know what? I'm going to try Embracing the Dark because I am embracing Moria this time.
Not forget Spalvey's
So, okay. Oh, we do get this one. I wasn't sure if it would be on this server or not yet. Okay, so he says, this is the next week. We've moved into next week. He says, I understand that dwarves and elves do not get along very well, but all of the elves I have met seem to be fine sorts. I will not forget Spalvey's warning about the elves that live on this side of the mountains, but I do not think that we should be too worried about it. He did not speak only of elves. It seems there is a great stone not far from here that is of some significance to his people. Thurin's stone. We should take a look at this monument, and perhaps I can sketch an illustration of it for my book. If we run into any dangers near the stone, you will take care of them, yes? My skill is with the quill, you know. You see? Very cute. All right, well, let's... Uh-oh, there we go. Oh, right, Bingo will help us slip into Caras Galadhon. So there's a Bingo quest that takes you to Caras Galadhon, and he just kind of sneaks you in without you having to have the reputation. So that's kind of cool. Oh, Ginger, you've tried wearing the scarf, but you're 5'2", so it's a little big for you. Yeah, I say I'm 5'3". I mean, it depends on how tall I'm feeling that day. I might make it to 5. Some days I'm 5'3". Let's put it that way. Or close enough that we can measure me that way. But yeah. So what do you use bingo badges for? So me personally or in general? I'll answer the question in general first, and that is that bingo badges, you go back and talk to Bert Bartleby, who shows up at the places where bingo has been, some of them, and he is a bingo badge barterer, and so you can get stuff from him, and that's what you use bingo badges for. What do I use them for specifically is there's two things that I really like that he does. He has cosmetic pets, and I'm a cosmetic pet collector, so I tend to get the pets from Bert Bartleby. And then I also like the hat rack. There's a hat rack that you can get, and when you get the first one way back in the Shire where it starts, where the whole adventure with Bingo Boffin starts, the hat rack comes empty, and then you can trade the empty one for a hat rack that has one hat on it, and that's like the hat he wore in the Shire. And then once you get like, this is probably not correct, but once you get to like Bree, Bert Bartleby's in Bree, you talk to him there, and you can trade in the hat. Oh, hang on. It says Durinstone rises proudly above the Mirror, but an orc camp is here. An orc camp lies at its base. All right. Well, we will deal with them. Anyway, so you trade in the hat rack with one hat and get a hat rack with two hats, and then further on you trade it in the two hat for the three hats, and so on. And it just keeps on going. And I think, the thing you upgrade until the end. Yes, that's exactly it. You keep upgrading it, and I think it's a cute thing. I also I kind of like it. Like not full. I like it partway full. So another thing I do sometimes is I'll buy one and use that to take through, and then like I'll buy a second one that has like maybe one or two hats, get it up to the 1 or 2 hat level, and put that in the house also. So I've got some options there. I enjoy having like a couple hat racks together, because imagine like a Hobbit house, which has a lot of visitors. You might expect that there might be multiple hat racks with a bunch of hats. So I sometimes have fun doing that, because you can keep buying them. Like I don't think there's a limit on how many of the hat racks you get. The only thing in which way you are limited is, it says talk to Bingo, by the way. Oh, southeast of Durinstone. Never mind, we're about there. Is the Bingo badges. There's no way to go back and do more storyline, so you're stuck with whatever. And I haven't actually calculated it, but like if you get 5 for each one, and there's X number of episodes, like 20 or whatever, so 20 times 5 would be 100, like whatever it is, that's what you have. Now you could go through it with other characters, and they also could get bingo badges, and you can also buy things. And the things you buy, I'm pretty sure are not bound. So you got some flexibility there. Like I know I've bought the cosmetic pets and their tomes. And those are freely tradable. You can sell them on the auction house if you really want to. The other thing I love to get, and this is way down the line, this is like in Wildermore or something, is there's a bee hive set that you can get, and I like to get that one because it's a interactable housing item, and so you can click on it and you get like 3 drops of, not the basic honey, but like the medium level honey. So I think it's cool. The fine clover honey. Okay, yeah, there you go. So yes, Ginger says I love the purple hat with the feather in it. That one, that's Gorse. I just forgot his first name. The treasure seeker. You'd think I remember his name because he says it all the time. Kind of like I just forgot her name too, but Flydale North. Nay, from Doctor Who. Oh. I just forgot her name. She starts off as a minister, like front bench, Flydale North. And then, Theodore Grouse. Thank you, Ginger. And then she eventually becomes like prime minister. Sorry, spoilers. And then people are like, yes, we know who you are. It's so funny. Anyway, okay, so here's bingo. He says, Harriet Jones? Harriet Jones? Oh, Harriet Jones. Okay, anyway, so Harriet Jones, Vital North. Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. Yes, we know who you are. Cracks me up. She always holds up her ID to show who she is. Anyway, that'd be a good cosplay. That'd be a fun cosplay. A little offbeat these days, though. It's a little older. Anyway, okay, bingo says, I am glad we were able to see Durin's stone, and I am gladder still that you managed to defeat some of the vile foes that stalk through this land. This would be a lovely place if it were not for their foul presence. The elves agree with you on that. Look at this river. Have you ever seen such a vibrant shade to the leaves of trees before, and in this season? Unbelievable. Speak to me when you are rested from your recent exertions, and we can go down to the stand of trees together. We must keep our eyes open for more orcs, of course. Okay, sure. Oh, this might be a session play or something.
Are you ready?
Okay, it is a travel now. So it says, are you ready? Let's go down to that stand of trees. But keep your eyes open for more orcs. The foul creatures seem to be everywhere in this land, despite its natural beauty. Or perhaps that is what draws them here, so they can despoil it. Okay, in we go. Zoom.
Bingo is excited to take a pleasant
Aubrey
stroll
says, I love how the
through
hat rack fills up as he
waving the
moves through his
dark
adventure. Yeah, it's a
passages of
great little
Moria
detail.
behind
And it uses hats from within that part of the story, so it is a fun little detail. I gotta get the Kettle Map Maker's hat. That one's so good, and that might also be a Bingo Badges one. It might be at the end though, so that's a couple years away. Anyway, okay, he says, it is a good day for walking. The cool, crisp air puts me almost in a mind of a leisurely stroll along the lanes of the Shire. And yet we are so far from the West Farthing. Indeed, we are so far to the east of the East Farthing that I have quite lost track of the miles. I can see the golden hue of the woods down this slope. Let us walk and see what awaits us beneath the canopy. Okay. So we're going to take a pleasant little stroll here with our friend here. I've tried to put myself on walking. We'll see. It's a little bit nicer if I can get it. Yeah, I liked the various details they put in the game. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think it'd be really cool if we got more bingo adventures. Oh, he says someone approaches. Do you think we are about to meet the elves? I mean, I have some questions I must ask them for my book. I think we might meet some orcs. That is the opposite of elves. Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, in a way, right? Wouldn't it be the opposite? Or a cousin. All right, he says, thank you for your help once again. Those orcs wanted to spoil our relaxing stroll, but I'd say you countered their designs most effectively. Let's not dwell on the shadows that darkened our path, but focus instead on the bright future that awaits us beneath the golden-hued sun and the trees ahead. Let us continue, and perhaps at a quicker pace. Oh, okay. Sure, we can jog. I know how to jog. So, yeah, Moria was hard for me the first couple times through because I just the thinking in 3 dimensions in terms of the map it wasn't it doesn't necessarily come natural for me in that regard. But I've come to really appreciate what's going on in there. So I like Moria. I was looking forward to Moria. All right, the elf says, I hope you do not mind the assistance, travelers. We have been expecting you and your friends. The Lady of Lothlórien gave me particular instruction to set forth from the Golden Wood in search of you and your companions. I'm pleased to see that you have come to no harm, not come to harm. Sure. If your friend is willing, I would be happy to bring you beyond the bounds and before the Lord and Lady. All right. Hey, Bingo. So, stuff and things. He says, we have encountered a welcoming party, and we seem to be expected. What a lovely turn of events. I would be delighted to accompany these fellows onward to the Golden Wood. So travel into Lothlórien with Haldir and Bingo. Okay. This is our blindfolded part. Okay, now we're here. He says, I can hardly believe that we have been invited into the Golden Wood and that we are being given a personal tour of Caras Galadhon. I have so many questions to ask the elves of this place. What brought them to settle here? And for how long have they lived in Lothlórien? Do they live lives of solitude, or do they travel? The sight of an elf is a very rare thing in the Shire. I hope they do not mind, or do not think my questions rude, but I have to know as much about their people as I can, or my book will suffer for such a lack of knowledge. He says, this way, my friends, the Lord and Lady await. Okay, we'll follow the bingo. Imagine, Master says, imagine if you walk all Middle Earth in game in walking mode. Gonna take ages. You know, there's people who've done things like that where they like walk to Moria or something like that. Now, you can be a chicken. Oh, hang on. Bingo says, can you imagine my neighbors living here? Myrtle Boggs would have a fit, poor thing. Because you can do the chicken play, but that's faster than walking. And it's probably about the speed of running, I suppose. But you don't get swift travel, like you don't get to use any mounts. And so you have to do that kind of by walking. And we haven't done much riding today, but we're still moving swiftly. That's true. You know my name already. Of course, elf magic. All right, so Celeborn says, only the magic of effective scouts and friendly conversation, bingo. Oh. Gladriel says, do not be disappointed, young one. Magic comes in many forms. Few of your people have ever walked the sunlit paths of the Golden Wood. Ah, 'tis a pity, to be sure, says Bingo. A pity, says Celeborn. He says, well, yes, my lord. None of my readers will believe that such grace and beauty could exist in this world. Is your companion always prone to flattery, says Celeborn. Gladriel says, my lord credited the scouts of Lorien for our knowledge of you, but that is not all, for I have also seen tell of you, of your journey in my mirror. You are a long way from your journey's start, and still have not found what you seek, she says. Is this the path you desire to tread? Bingo says, I don't entirely know what you mean. Celeborn says, now it is my turn to apologize, for I know who my lady addresses. And she walks over to Willem Whisker. She says, you would be welcome here. I understand. Continue your journey if that is your wish. So she just had a little conversation with Willem Whisker. Bingo says, I'm not entirely certain what to make of this. Are you having a laugh at my expense? And, all right, let's see what they have to say. Celeborn says, I hope your friend is not offended. Our welcome to this wood is sincere, and it is my hope he will find a place of rest and peace before continuing his journey. I will speak to the sentries at the gate of Cariscaladon. The three of you will be welcome within the city from this point. Oh. Yeah, Master says the bingo quest was a chance to enter the Golden City since the reputation was a lot of grinding, they say. But of course, between bingo and the anniversary rope, you don't have to grind anymore to get into the city. All right, so, and Gladriel says, my mirror shows me many things, and not all of them will come to pass. I know of your own journey, and I know of young Bingo's as well. Is he truly surprised that his feline companion is on a journey of his own? It may be a useful reminder to him that all of us have our own paths to tread in this world, and while they may intertwine for a time, they will not forever. My own time in this land that I love will soon be ended, and my journey will take me elsewhere. For now, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to Cariscaladon. If you desire to learn more, seek out Penaseth, our keeper of stories, at Cairn Nolth. All right. Hey, Bingo. Excuse me. He says, I am ashamed to admit that I never gave a thought to Willem Whisker's own journey, and now my face is as red as can be. What do you suppose he is seeking? If it is in my power to help him find it, I will do everything I can. You should have told me earlier, Willem. Oh, that is the end of that chapter. Interesting. I didn't see any bingo badges happening there. No titles. I just zoomed right through that. Completed. Oh, this is the instance we just completed. Maybe we didn't complete the chapter yet. Hang on. Yeah, we're in the instance chapter about elves. That's why. He says, well, they have given me much to think about. That is for certain. All right. Let's travel back out of here. Okay, and now, see, Bert Bartleby is out here. Hello, Bert. Hey, Bert. And we could barter stuff with him. So, oh, the treacherous hole comes from here. It's another housing item. I think when you click on it, it's one of those things that can take you somewhere. I think it's an interactable item also. There's the bingo hat rack from Moria, which I don't have any of the hat racks with me. I had a character I used to carry the hat racks with me. It was pretty funny. You could get a Spalvey property guard though, which is pretty cool. I have one of those on Anor. Okay, so let's see. Where's Bingo? There he is. He's sitting on the bench. Hey, Bingo. He says, I am not sure what to make of our mysterious hosts. They certainly seemed welcoming, but they are simply so... I do not know what word I can use to describe them. They seemed somehow otherworldly, but at the same time very much a part of this land. It strikes me as very odd that they can be both, but that is the impression they gave me. He suddenly slaps his forehead. I forgot to ask my questions. If I am going to describe our stay in the Golden Wood for my book, I need a better understanding of the elves and their lord and lady. If you can meet the Keeper of Stories that was mentioned by Lady Galadriel, perhaps I can borrow a book that will help me learn about Lothlórien and its people. Find Penaseth at Karen Nouth and see if she will lend me such a book. Well, you will be in luck, Mr. Bingo. I have a feeling we're going to get you a book or two. Oh, perhaps I should I mount up? Oh, you got the new beetle. Hold up, we got to see the beetle. So the blue beetle, Bert Bartleby was bartering for the blue beetle with bingo badges. Oh boy. Did we? Oh, we haven't said hi to the stable master over here, have we? Oh. There's a stable master. Oh yeah. Hello, stable master. Well, I'm okay staying on my goat for now because this is a pretty goat. Also, my outfit matches my goat, and I'm not prepared to switch to a new outfit right now. It's the priorities, man. We both kind of did that actually. We both kind of got our goats. But we got our outfits to kind of coordinate with our goats. And we knew we were going to have goats because we were going into Moria. Abigail's kind of got like the browns and golds going on over there, and I've got kind of some blues and silvers going on over here. So that was kind of a priority for me. If you had to choose whether to go to the Undying Lands or stay in Middle Earth, which would you choose? Okay, well, what time period are we talking about? Because if we're talking about, well, I'm not sure if it matters which time period I'm talking about. They're both very attractive. Now, would I be talking about as an elf or as a hobbit? Because, I don't know. Leaving the Shire, like, the Shire is pretty dang cool, but living in the Undying Lands means you get the time forever. Like, you know, all the reading you want to do, all the conversations you want to do, it's like everything. So the attraction of going to the Undying Lands would be hard to resist, because that idea of being able to just live forever, you know, with other people who are also living there forever. And hopefully you get along with them. So I think in the end, I would choose the Undying Lands. Oh, hey, there's some heavy ilex. Maybe I'll grab it. Undying Lands or Middle Earth as a Balrog. Says Play Ironfoot. That's funny. Undying Lands as a Balrog would be tough. I guess, okay, it depends, like, am I still like a Balrog-y Balrog? In the sense like that I wouldn't get along with the elves and like it'd be always a clashing of heads? Or like would I be a Balrog that's kind of like, you know, I don't know, decided I'm done serving on the side of Melkor and caught on a lamppost. And I really want to, like, you know, join the rest of Middle Earthians. See, right? Oops, sorry, I'm running past everything. Okay. Do either of them have a working understanding of microbes? What? Let's see what else. Your Balrog can have character developments. You decide this for yourself. Oh, then... Okay, so if the question is Middle-earth or Undying Lands as a Balrog, Undying Lands as a Balrog. Absolutely. I would go and we could kind of talk out for eons, like, how did we get to where we got to? How could things have gone differently? Like, just playing out all those different scenarios in our heads. Totally be awesome. That'd be fun. Oh, hey, the elf says, welcome to Lothlórien. I have already heard tell of your deeds, and any aid I can provide to you will gladly be given. You explained that Bingo wishes to write a chapter in his book about the Elves of the Golden Wood, and he was hoping that Penaseth might be able, to lend him a book he could study for that purpose. It is a noble thing to seek knowledge of a subject about which you know little. See, I could learn all sorts of stuff in the Undying Lands. I will happily give to Bingo a book that contains some accounts of the history of the Elves. Beware, the book is many pages, but even so, it will not cover the entirety of the subject. What book could hope to do so? So our objective is to return to Bingo with the book. Let me... there we go. She hands you a thick tome and then holds up her hand as you turn to go. All right, she says, oh, no, do not go just yet. I have given to you a book of history, for if Bingo is to understand my people, he will need to know from where they came and the trials they faced in their journeys to this point. But that is not all. There are so many names and places described in that book that I fear your friend will be quite overwhelmed and confused. Silmarillion, perhaps? To that end, take to this book of maps. With it, he will obtain a full understanding of the many places in which elves have lived, and perhaps he will also attain an appreciation for the great scope and vastness of this Middle-earth and the lands beyond. All right, well, thanks, lady. That's fantastic. She hands you another book, but once more, she holds up her hand.
Sweet-eyed one, dear.
Hang on. She says, if your friend Bingo examines these books, he will have a basic understanding of the history of the elves and the land that shaped their journeys. But it is still not enough. Such a study would leave out one of the most important aspects of my people's experience, the works of art they fashion and the art that fashions them. Could you imagine being a Balrog in the Undying Lands talking about elven art? Like, that'd just be, like, so wild. Okay, so this book contains descriptions of many such works, and in the end, sad cases... And in some sad cases, that is all that remains, the descriptions. For many have been lost to the ravages of time and the plots of the enemy. From these pages, Bingo will learn much about the elves that he can learn nowhere else. She hands you another book, and it seems like it won't be the last. I've had another thought. If your friend Bingo wishes to write a complete study of the elves, I would be doing him and his future readers a tremendous disservice if I did not supply him with one more book. This is the tome, my studious friend. It contains many of the songs of my people, and within their lines, Bingo will find much to feed both his mind and his heart. Sad songs they are, but also songs of triumph and of glad delight. The other books I have provided will tell him of Beren and Luthien, or of Gil-galad, but a true understanding of what they mean to my people can only be found in a song. She smiles, and she seems to be all out of books. We're here to take books and kick names, and we're all out of books. Something like that. That's a discovery deed I have. Yay! Okay, so let's see. Dun, dun, dun. A Hobbit Philosophy 101, the whole Undying Lands conversation. Oh, Undying Lands is yourself, or Middle-earth as a Balrog? That would also be a different choice. I would still probably... I think my answer is almost always going to be Undying Lands at the end of it all, though. Like, do I get a little bit of time in Middle-earth first? Well, I guess I'd have to, because that's the only way you can get to the Undying Lands. So however it is, I get to Middle-earth, I get to the Havens, and then I go to the Undying Lands, for sure. So I probably would go through the Shire. That'd be nice, because I definitely would love to see the Shire. Have a couple meals, you know. That'd be neat. Okay, so if a Balrog can develop, then the next class Lotra needs to add is a Balrog. Ha! Clever. Hey! Oh yeah, okay, sure. We don't have swift travel, do we? Nope, not available. Okay, but I'll take slow travel. Slow travel's nice. Would it be like a Bjorning, where a Balrog is both the race and the class? Or could you have a Balrog minstrel? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Or the cowbell. Roar, 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 roar. Oh my god, I'm still laughing about that idea though. I mean, I guess they would probably get like a racial trait that gets them back to Moria, like the elves get to Karis Galadin, like the high elves do. I mean, that would only be, logical, right? So you'd have swift travel to, it'd have to be somewhere like, what's that place with all the nameless ones? And the endless stare and all of that. That's where a Balrog racial trait would take you to, I think. Pretty sure they have those in Finland. Foundations of Stone. Yeah, there we go. Klingon opera. I guess they're... Yeah, well, at least it's better than... Was it Vogon opera? I'll take Klingon opera over Vogons any day. Yeah, Balrog minstrel might be worse than Vogon poetry. Exactly. I know. But, so I have Klingon friends, right? Like, so I haven't like dived as deep into Klingon lore as some of my friends, but like I'm part of the house. I don't show up for anything. I'm a very distant member of the house these days because it's in Colorado and I'm in the Netherlands. So I'm not very active in our Klingon house. But yeah, I don't have I enjoy Klingon stuff. I think it's fun. There's a convention where they would do batleth training with kids, and basically it was big foam batleths, and the kids would mop each other, and they'd be teaching them how to change angles and stuff. It was really cute. Kids love that stuff. So let's see. Master says Balrogs help Morgoth after Ungoliant consumed the great trees. So imagine Balrogs are not much welcomed in the Undying Lands, are they? Well, no. So that's what I'm saying. It would have to be probably some sort of a special case, right, that allowed a Balrog into the Undying Lands. So that would be a whole thing in itself, because you'd be unwelcome in this place where you would live forever. So you'd have to slowly work on getting people to turn around to accepting you. That would be really interesting. It's a whole, fanfic out there waiting to be written. All right, chapter about elves. Here we go. He says, "You have returned, and with a book about the elves, lovely. I will take that from you and get to work reading at once." He trails off as he sees the stack of books you have for him. I asked for a single book, and if I'm being honest, I was rather hoping for a slim volume. But you have returned with 3 others, and not one of them a trifling size. If I were to set about reading these, my journey would be halted for a month or more. I wanted to write a chapter about elves, not a dozen. Well, I thank you for the material, and I will read for a time, but it seems to me that a full understanding of the elves will take a lifetime or 2. Is this why they lived for such a long time? The better to understand their own complexity? My goodness. And it says, Bartleby has arrived outside the gate to Karis Galadin. We saw him already. Next week, A Tale of War. And it is recommended level 63, and it is further recommended that you have gained access to Mirkwood by completing Chapter 9 forward, The Dark Shore from Calangoth at the docks, and completing his quest chain through Hilltop Assault. So we do not have access to that on this server. So I'm guessing I finish now. I'm going to get Legendary Experience, which we're not doing right now, and bingo badges. Bonk. When I do get my bingo badges. Hey, and I leveled. I am 58. Woo! Locked in 5 tech. Cool EO. What is that? Oh, I just got advanced. Oh no, I have distracting shot sitting over there. I gotta redo my bars at some point. I have discovered a deed, The Jolly Hunter. Read the book, The Jolly Hunter. I guess I gotta go find that and get 20 points for it. Wow, and a class trait point. I'm gonna look into these things. And I got a remote quest. Oh, it's a hunter thing, maybe. The Path of the Trapper. Huh, all right. Oh yeah, I forgot we did have class stuff in Moria. I forgot all about that. All right, so that is Bingo Boffin done on this server for now. There's no more bingoing to be done until we get the next expansion, which we just got Moria like January 5th. So I'm expecting we'll get Mirkwood probably like July, probably beginning of July would be my guess. So we are done with bingo for a while. But that takes me to another thought which came up earlier, which is festivals. So in my bio, I don't remember who had this idea, but I think it's brilliant, that I have the events coming up in my bio. So if anybody ever like clicks on me and reads my biography, it's got the Lothlórien events calendar for 2022. So we have a Hobnanigans weekend coming up February 3rd through 7th. It looks like they're doing Hobnanigans every even month, the first weekend of every even month, like they did kind of in the last half of last year. So that's really cool because I enjoy doing Hobnanigans. So we'll do some Hobnanigans together, possibly every time it comes up. We'll see. So yeah, so we've got Hobnanigans beginning of the month. So that's like 2 weeks away. Today's the 20th. So a week is the 27th. And then a week after that would fall in line with that. Yeah, so in 2 weeks we'll do Hobnanigans on the stream. Yeah, I think Hobnanigans is where we met, Aubrey. I think that does sound about right. So we'll see you there again, I'm sure. Oh, and the newest upgrade notes are there. Thanks, Moobot. Awesome. Now, before anybody says putting events calendar in bio is immersion breaking, the bio itself is immersion breaking according to some. So there you go. It's a very meta, immersion breaking meta thing. I just figure it's a useful thing. I kind of on Treebeard am a bit RP light. Like I'm definitely running around as a hobbit doing hobbity things, but I mean I'm also running around in Lothlórien and I'm in Moria and doing all these crazy things that a hobbit might not be doing. Oh, Skymantic, is that not updated? That is possibly true. Eldaleth is the one who usually does all the updates, and so it's possible she didn't. She's been busy the last 18 hours or whatever. Because I just saw the release notes when I logged on this morning. I saw it was in the launcher. The link was in the launcher, but I'm in the Netherlands, so this morning for me it was like, 9 a.m. Oh wait, no, it wasn't then. It's when I logged on this afternoon when I got back. We have Dutch lessons in the mornings right now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So when we got back from Dutch lessons, I think I saw it in the launcher. So that would have been like 2:30 our time, I think it was. Which, like, I would guess she would still be sleeping. But there should be... I don't have the launcher up. Oh, thanks, Skymantic. Perfect. So if you want to look at the update notes for today's update that just happened, there's the notes. It's not a lot of information. There's like a new raid that people will be happy about who like to do that. And not a lot else. You and before both hit the same thing at the same time. That's fantastic. Oh yeah, that's true. The update notes don't have in there, but session play is supposedly fixed. So yay for that, because on Treebeard, there's a lot of people. Yeah, sure. Hang on a second though. There's a lot of people who are. Oh, can we do it together? No, I think it's solo. It's solo. Anyway, there's a lot of people who are stuck in the part where you have to, encounter Mazog and deal with him and stuff. And it's called We Cannot Get Out. And basically what was happening is when you'd go in, so like notice on my character, I have, let's say armor. I have an armor value of 9,700. And I have an offensive critical rating of 9,500 and finesse and physical mastery and tactical mastery. Something was wrong with the session plays, and that was all zeroed out. So, good, they added it into the notes. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it was pointed out to Cord that those were not in the notes, and so I'm glad he went back and fixed that. So all of that was down to 0. So I tried to do the, here, we can go do it. We'll just go do it. How about I take us to Ekadunin? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'll take us there. There's also a guy inside of Moria. We ran across him. Oh, he's in the 21st Hall. He's got the same quest to do this, but this is good. It's the guy that we talked to get in the first place. So this is cool. Bring Rathwald. All right, so we'll talk to Rathwald here. All right, he says, you've done us a great service already, friend, but there's something you should know about the mines before you accompany the Iron Garrison into the mountains. Start. Speak to me if you're willing to hear what I have to say. And this is solo, so we can't do it as a duo, which is so sad. He says, you've already lent great service to our expedition, and I do not wish to be held responsible if you come to a bad sort of end. The history of Khazad-dûm is sad and grim, and it is Bozzi's wish that all who lend their aid to our cause know what might await them inside the mines. I will tell you the story of the fall of Moria, if you will hear it, and give reasons why Khazad-dûm is called Moria by the elves, Black Pit. Listen well, and if you still wish to follow the dwarves into Moria, we can talk it over. It makes me wonder, why do the dwarves call it Moria? Because it's the elf word, so why don't they call it Khazad-dûm more often? Okay, so anyway, we're going to go in and we're going to play somebody named Nafni. Ah, we have a new code of the week. In a rush. I'm guessing it's some speed boost. Yeah, so it was really funny because all of those, things that allow you to hit things and all the stuff that allow you to not be hit by things were zeroed out. So I came in here one day and tried to do this while session play was broken. I should have recorded it because it was funny. And then because you're doing session play, you don't have any of your stuff. So I don't have my foods. I don't have any of my buffs. I don't have anything. And so I couldn't eat regeneration foods. So it was regenerating just naturally, out of combat. If I was out of combat, I was regenerating 300 health a minute, something like that. And you'll see when we get in here, I had 2,500 or 3,500 health to begin with. Okay, 6,700. Okay, hang on, let's talk to Sverry here. He says, hey, there you are, where have you been? Lord Durin has been asking for you. The elf delegates from Lothlórien are due soon. He has some business he wants you to attend before they arrive. He's on his throne, and go talk to him. All right, so Lord Durin the 5th, or the 6th. So notice how we're walking really slow. There's this thing called Nafni speed. So you click that, and look at that, we're going 150% additional. It says, his ability to sprint at great speed surprised many of his long-beard brethren. They added that in because there's a lot of walking in this one. But hey, here's Durin. Hey, Durin. Nafni, my friend, he says. I was hoping to speak with you before the party of the elves arrived. Let's see, so I have... What's my biggest one? Oh, that's nice. 900 and something. That's even bigger. See, these were really low. Oh wow, these numbers are definitely better than they were when I tried doing it when the stuff was broken. He says, thanks for coming. The delegation of elves will be here soon. I had hoped to ask you something. We haven't had a lot of dealings with the elves, not as much as we used to. It's my hope the meeting will rekindle old friendships. Glory and wealth of Khazad-dûm is limitless. Even if mithril is becoming more scarce by the year, but with the aid of the elves, we can delve even further afield. We must look to the future, and it is that I wish to make a gift for my son, to my son Nain, for he will be king when I am gone, though it will be not for many years. Go speak to Melkoff the stone carver on the western side of the hall about making a statue for my son. It will stand in this throne room when the time of his kingship is nigh. Okay, so here we go. So notice we're running really slow. Now we're running really fast. When I tried to do this the other day, hang on, I got there really fast. It's an honor to speak with one held so highly in my lord's esteem. You describe the statue Durin wishes him to make for Nain. It will be done, and with all haste, but not so quickly that the product suffers. It will capture young Nain's lordly countenance, and were he to stand very still, no dwarf in Khazad-dûm could tell the difference. Please tell my Lord Durin that I will be in Redway. Can do. My damage output on any of these skills was, I think the highest one was 500 maybe, and now these are coming in at 1,200, 900. It was really sad. It was It was really bad. All right. Thank you. Melkoff is an unparalleled artist with works renowned for their place within Khazad-dûm. Go to Sverre at the front gate and await the delegates from Lothlórien. My son will be escorting them. All right. Back to the beginning. Let's set ourselves up and run in a straight line. Zoomity zoom. Oh yeah, and there was something about how there's like one of the skills you can use as a block, and I was not able to block anything, so I wasn't able to use the skill. Like it was quite hilarious. Hey, Sverre. All right, the elves are nearly here, escorted by Nain, the son of Durin. They will surely be impressed by the majesty of Durin's halls, but let us not reveal our pride. The way of the dwarf is to be humble before his guests, as you know. They shall not but help to marble halls of Durin, or they might marvel at the halls of Durin. Do they then not live among the trees? The great pillars of Durin's city are like to trees, but shaped from the very roots of the stone earth in stunning artistry. That's really pretty. I like the way they kind of describe that. All right, welcome back, and warmest greetings to the esteemed guests of Durin. Hey. Hey, these are the Elves of Lothlórien, come to speak with my father about our continued friendly relations and trade. Would you announce to my father that we have arrived? Yeah. There's a lot of wouldst thou and dost thees in here, which I know they're trying to make it sound like it's a different age, and so we would use different words like that, but I don't know. I am curious if Tolkien did that, because generally that's the accepted familiar form, not formal form. So, I don't know. So I just kind of skip over it. Anyway, he says, I thank you. I see that they have come, and I'm ready to speak with them about the continued friendship of the dwarves. Yeah, these and thous are generally accepted to be informal. So it is very strange that it is being used as a formal way of speaking. So the dwarves are like, thank you for your courteous stuff. Your son has been kind to show us some of the exquisite work of your people. Yes, they added speed of light on this dwarf in this instance, and it's very good because, as you may have noticed, there's running back and forth a lot. So it's very good. Yeah. Apparently SSG responded to comments of how much of a slog it was and gave him a sprint. So hooray for that. Okay, so these guys are having a chat, and there's some shade that was thrown, maybe by mistake. Feathers are getting ruffled, but they're like, nope, sorry, don't worry about me. Hey, look at that cape. It's like a Three Peaks cape. That's nice. Wonder if they saw this and were like, hey, we should bring that back. All right, we will go at once and impress upon our visitors the glory and bounty of the dwarves. So we're going down to where they have discovered some mithril recently, and we're going to show it to the elves because we're being a little prideful. This cavern is deep and untamed, and something seems to have stirred up the cave claws and deep claws that burrow here in the depths. Be so good as to clear the cave of the beast so we can proceed to the mithril deposits in safety. So I need to take out cave claws and deep claws, and there's 7 of them in total. So let's go to this guy. Can I go to you just by clicking? All right, fine, I'll run over to you. So it was hilarious. So I would get to the point where it would take me a good amount of time to take him down, and it was taking out about 1,200 of my health along the way. So by the time I got done with these 3 cave claws while it was broken, I had like 1,000 health left, and given that they were doing more than 1,000 damage back to me, I knew I wasn't going to be able to survive another one until I got some health back. So I stood around and waited because, as I said, the health bar was, the regen was really super slow. Like right now, does it say up here? Where does it tell you that? How did I figure that out? Was it in my character panel? Oh yeah, see, this is great. Like the armor actually has numbers. The physical mitigations, the defense actually has numbers. Let's see, morale. 11,900 points regenerate per minute while not in combat. That was 300 points before. So you can see how this was going. So I waited, and I was like, well, maybe I can do a block on this guy And unfortunately, he gave me a bleed effect, and it took me out. So that was a hilarious exercise in what happens if you take off all your armor and everything, apparently. An unintentional exercise and such, but there you are. Oh yeah, so talking about Dutch. Yeah, we're taking Dutch lessons, and oh, we gotta run back to him. And Dutch still has a formal second person singular. So like, you know, can I get you a cup of coffee kind of thing? Can I, you know, get a cup of coffee, or thank you very much, but it's, you know, thank you very much anyway. So he says, good my friend, we'll show the elves the great bounty of Mithril that still lies beneath Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm. So that's why I'm surprised that they call it Moria, because that's the elves' name for it, and it's not exactly a polite. Well, I mean, I guess it's polite, it's elves, but you know what I mean? It's not nice. It's like, your black pit. So I'm surprised that the dwarves call it that. Okay, so we've reached a wall. Help him break through this wall. Let us show the elves that our supply of Mithril will not fail. I mean, it says I don't have permission to do that. Okay, now I have permission to do that. Thanks for giving me permission. All right, we have broken through this wall. That did it. Golly, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go into this cave. What manner of beast? Well, let's show you. Yeah, nice home you have here. I shall call it Pit. And not just pit, like dark pit, deep pit. Black pit. But look at that. It is the Lord of Fire and Shadow. He's pretty cool looking. See, being one of those in the Undying Lands would actually be really fascinating. All right, to protect my son, he must rule in Khazad-dûm. And he runs off to go fight the Balrog. You crazy cake. Stay here. It is Durin's command that you shall live. And off he goes running too. Look, crazy kids. So the dwarf miner goes and runs as well. So we have to just wait here. And I wasn't sure how to do this instance when I was first doing it. But we just have to wait here until basically those guys aren't there anymore. They will perish. And here comes the Balrog soon. And our goal is to escape. We cannot escape yet because the wall is still quite intact. So we have to wait. There we go. Now the wall falls apart and we're like, run. All right, so there's Nain that we're supposed to be protecting, who doesn't have the cool cape. It's got kind of the peaks on the back of the outfit though, so that's kind of cool. Oh, hey, I was just running towards the wall. All right, doom upon the halls of dwarves is a terror from another age, a Balrog of Morgoth. 1,000 curses on the greed of dwarves, it should be slumbering still. So 1,000 curses, does that mean if 1,000 dwarves perish, then the curse is over? What of the fabled courage of the elves? I did not see you standing. You have doomed yourself, and your kingdom will perish. Let's see. Oh, I'll warn the Sylvan elves to flee ere this evil spills from your gates. Yeah, we must retreat. We have no other option, but I swear on my father's name I shall slay this Balrog, this ancient evil, this horror from a distant age. Khazad-dûm will not fall. Yeah, about that. I cannot die here. Slow his pursuit. Yeah, about that. The tomorrow elves aren't much better. You've beaten the Watcher, but they still tell me I'm ill-prepared for the halls of Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm, yeah. Moria got a Balrog, and Erebor got a dragon, says Master, so better stay in the Shire and have some beer and pipe weed. Indeed. All right, the update notes there have been updated. Looks like awesome. Translation written for German release notes for the parts of session play. Yeah, I know that. So Lotro is done in English, German, and French. Those are the languages that Lotro supports, and they have when you log onto the client, you can choose the other one of those three languages. You can switch out if you want to. So I could be playing this in French if I wanted to. Hang on. So the fall of Moria. Though Nain and his kinsmen stood against the great evil that slew Durin, they did not stand long. Nain was killed by the shadow the following year, and the dwarves were forced to abandon Khazad-dûm. Many of the Sylvan elves fled Lothlórien in terror of the Nameless Fear, flying southward and cursing the dwarves as they went. From time to time, some brave dwarf has been known to seek those halls. Lord Balin is the most recent, but despite some encouraging reports shortly after his expedition arrived, we have not heard from him in many years and begin to despair of finding him again. Bozy fears that he has perished, but it could be that Balin still lives within some deep hall. It is possible, but my thoughts are like to Bozy's. Thank you for listening to the tale, my friend. You see now how important this expedition is to my people. Okay, so now we have completed the Fall of Moria. Oh, cool. And because when I logged in, we have auto fellow on between myself and Affidel, so it auto put us into a fellowship. So anyway, so a lot of times English, German, and French, they SSG works with people who translate to to get like release notes and the like the update notes, and I think maybe the beacon also in those languages. So that's nice. Das Problem mit den Sitzungsspielen wurde behoben. There's a lot of crossover between German and Dutch, or at least in construction and sometimes in sound. So Verd could be like ward, like word, which is a Dutch verb for like to become, like, you know, so has been. So that could be the past version of has. Yeah, it's the context I'm getting there. And behoben, the be at the beginning could be indicating that hoben is a verb, and it's like has, you know, previous tense verbed. We've previous tense verbed it. All right, so I think we are coming in to the last, the last couple minutes of the stream. So next week, not sure what we'll do next week because we don't have any festivals. Oh, that's why I brought up my character panel before. Because, our next festival isn't until like March. We got a little while. Let's see. Boom, 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 boom. Our next festival isn't until Spring Festival, which is middle of March. I had some March. So we have some time before our next festival. So we've got next week, and then we'll do Hobnanigans the week after that. And then we've got basically the other 3 weeks of February, and then like the first couple weeks of March before we get to Spring Festival. So maybe some skirmishes, says Affidel. Definitely. We have definitely got some options on what we want to do. We could go running around to Moria if there's some people want to see how that goes. Yeah, the Khazad-dûm Epic Lane. Actually, I was thinking maybe some Moria instances. No, is that right? The skirmishes, instances, that kind of stuff. So Skymantic, you do the German translations? Well, that's very cool. That's awesome. Did I mention that we're in the Netherlands? Oh, I probably have. Yeah. Probably mentioned it a few times. It's relevant. It is often relevant. All right, so I think we are gonna wrap up here. If you have any questions or any thoughts that you want to throw in there real quick, definitely drop it in the chat. Fun questions today too, by the way. Who's asking those? Is that Master the Master? Those were some those were some fun questions today. So, oh, and to answer, yeah, and you answered the question of what were your favorite expansions. You said Moria was your favorite, and then second was Rohan, and then Minas Morgul. We haven't done Minas Morgul yet, so I'm keen to see. Yeah, yeah, definitely keen to get into some of the later stuff, and I wasn't really excited about the big, like, massive amount of dwarven stuff they've been doing lately with War of the Three Peaks, and then and now finishing up with Fate of Gundabad. But I'm at the point where I'm excited to get to that eventually. Now it's going to be a while because our mains are pretty much here on the Treebeard server, which is a slow progression server. So we're getting the next expansion out every 6 months. So it'll be like 3.5 years, I think, before we see Fate of Gundabad. And of course, in 3.5 years, they'll of course have released another couple of things. So, we'll be chasing that tail for a little while, but that is okay. Yeah, exactly. See you in Gundabad in 3 years. Oh, you don't do all of the German, only some stuff that's missing, or if their translators take a break. Well, that is very cool, Skymantic. That is awesome. I would love to be up to the point where we could do like some Dutch translations. I think that'd be pretty cool. But we're not there yet. I am hoping that like maybe in 6 months or so, I'll do like a special like 1 hour stream, and it'll all be in Dutch. I think that'd be kind of fun. I think doing it more than an hour, I'll be exhausted because it takes so much, like you really have to focus hard to switch to another language when you haven't had that muscle memory yet. I'm getting closer though. I'm definitely seeing like there's times when my brain automatically puts those words, towards my mouth. So that's really useful. But I'm still not to the point where I can construct the sentences the way I want to. Or if I'm looking for a word, I can't always find it. So we're getting there, but I'm not there yet, so that's why I'm not going to do it anytime soon yet. At least 6 months, because I think our classes are about like 9 weeks long. So at least another 9 weeks, I think. More practice. Oefening. All right. Have you tried having one room in the house where you have to speak Dutch as a first language? Nay. But we do practice with each other. In the sense of like, if one of us says something in Dutch, then usually the other one will, well, that's not completely true. Because a lot of times before will say stuff to me in Dutch and I respond in English, so that's not completely true. Wij spreken soms Nederlands thuis. Spreken heel veel Engels thuis. Bij thuis. Home thuis. So we haven't gotten to that point. I suggested having like an hour where we have to speak Dutch the whole time, but we're kind of getting that right now in the sense that we, on Tuesdays and Thursdays right now, have roughly 4 hours. Wait, 9:30, 10:30, 12:30, 1:30, 3 hours. Are our classes 3 hours? I was thinking they were 4 hours. 4 hours. Okay. I'm mathing badly, apparently. So we basically have 4 hours twice a week, during which we are speaking almost all Dutch. Like there's a little bit of English in there sometimes when like if the docent is saying, trying to explain something and like they're getting blank stares from all of us, sometimes they'll drop into English because most people in the class are fluent in English. Not everybody, but most people are. So that's another way to kind of catch everybody up real fast if we're all trailing behind. But for the most part, we're pretty much like it's like 95% Dutch probably in the classroom. So that's kind of cool. So we are getting some of that, some immersion stuff. Like our directions are in English, the explanations are in English. I mean, Dutch. It's all in Dutch. Explanations are in Dutch. It's It's interesting. It's really interesting. It's good. It is good to get more immersion that way, though. I think I'm making more progress than I did. We took some lessons a couple years ago when we first got here. But it didn't stick as well. So the second time around is really sticking a lot better, which is awesome. Yeah, so they have levels, and these are kind of international levels of proficiency in a language. So yeah, so this class took us from like base, like 0, to A1 level. And A1 level is, can you go to the grocery store and buy groceries? Can you ask somebody for directions if you're lost? It's kind of like a basic level of, can you get around in the society and make it? Do the things that you need to do. Yeah, interact in a simple way, provided the other person talks slowly and clearly and is prepared to help. I get nervous because sometimes I'll say something in Dutch and I work really hard on my pronunciations, and so sometimes it comes out to them in a way that sounds good. So then they respond to me very quickly and very much in like these complex sentence structures in Dutch, and I'm like, I'm lost from about the third word in. So when I can get people to speak slowly or clearly or both, that does make a big difference. And so we're at that point. So now what does A2 get us to? What's the A2 expectation? Because so the class that we're in right now, we're going to finish. The idea is that we have a test, like I think in a week from now, and that takes us. That'll be at the A1 level, and if we can pass that, then we can say yes, we're at the A1 level. So then we'll go ahead and sign up for the next class, which takes us up to A2, which is a multitude of things here. Understand sentences and frequently used expressions related to areas of immediate relevance, like personal and family information, like explaining who you are and how you relate to people and stuff like that. Like I have siblings, or they live over here. I mean, we can do that in basic terms right now, but not. It sounds stilted, right? Like I have I have a brother. He lives in, the United States. Like it's not. It doesn't have that kind of flow yet, right? Local geography, employment, shopping, etc. And then can communicate in simple and routine tasks, requiring a simple and direct exchange of information on familiar and routine matters. So we're getting into a little bit more, we're stepping it up from speak slowly, please, to let's communicate on possibly close to a normal speed. And describe simple terms about yourself, like their background and stuff like that, immediate needs. So it feels a lot like A1, but it's kind of like it's adding kind of some depth, I think, to get us to A2. So that'll be good. And that getting to that kind of point, I think that's I think I will feel a lot more confident in being able to interact with people, like go to the cheese shop and order something without having to break into English a lot, things like that. So and so if we want to take any sort of integration exams, like if we want to try for like a residency permit along like a long one, currently we're on a residency permit, but if we wanted to have one that's more permanent, it used to be A2 was the level, and that's what we're working toward, but now they're changing it to B1, which is the next level, and that's can deal with most situations likely to arise while traveling in an area where the language is spoken. So like basically plop you down somewhere in the Netherlands and be like, go. We'd be like, hey, ik heb OV-chipkaart. Ik ga naar thuis. Or naar house. Like, I have a transportation card. I want to go home. I can go to home. Really, like that's what I would be saying now. Like, I wouldn't be saying I want to go home. I don't know how to say that. I could say I go home now. Which again, it's like that stilted kind of communication. We kind of joke about having like a 3-year-old vocabulary kind of thing. So yeah. Okay, all right. Enough of all of that silliness. So awesome. Thank you all for coming along. This has been fun. As always, it's always fun. I enjoy coming and hanging out with everybody, and I'm grateful that you all come along and enjoy hanging out here too. We have a good time together. Yeah, 12-year-old grammar and a 2-year-old vocabulary. Yeah, we understand how to put sentences together. We just don't know the words to put them in, words to put into those sentences. Exactly. All right. I will be back here, of course, next Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern U.S. time. Oh, thank you. You can find my Twitter there, and I always tweet on the day to kind of help remind people that, hey, you know, this is coming. Eldoleth is on in, I think, about 6 hours, and then Epic Uger is on after her on Thursdays. So you can always catch them in a little while. Like, go, you know, get a sandwich, go get your meal, go do some skirmishes, and come back in a little bit, and Eldoleth will be back. She's lovely. And then B4 streams on Tuesdays and does a real deep dive into how to make plugins for the game. So for example, I use Titan Bar, I use Travel Window 2, I use Deed Tracker, which he made. I use a lot of different plugins. I've got Lothlórien there, love Lothlórien. So yeah, B4 does kind of a deep dive into explaining how that works, and actually works on plugins on the stream. So that's really interesting if you ever are interested in finding more information about that. And thank you, Mubat. There's Lotro Interface is a great place to find plugins, and there's a list of some of our favorites as the streamers use. All right, y'all. I am gonna go, and speaking of sandwiches, I think I'm gonna go get myself one as well. All right, y'all have a fabulous rest of your day, evening, whatever time of day it is for you. And as always, stay connected to the Hobbit side of your heart while you're out and about. All right, thanks guys, bye-bye.